Welcome to the Zestful Nest. I'm Antoinette and I'm on a journey to de-influence my life and move away from the rat race of overconsumption. I personally have been really inspired and motivated by a series of videos going around where people talk about things they're not going to be buying in 2026. I think they're calling it the no buy, low buy year, and I want to get on board with this. I think this sounds amazing. Something that I will not be buying in 2026 is poorly made clothing. More specifically, clothing made out of fibers like polyester or nylon, those really kind of scratchy, horrible fabrics. I am going to be buying only items that are made from natural fibers. They don't have to be 100% natural fibers. I don't mind a little bit of a mix, but the main fabric content needs to be either cotton or wool or linen, just natural fibers, maybe with a little bit of something else, ideally 100% natural fibers, but I'm definitely staying away from these cheaply made 100% polyester or acrylic type clothing pieces. For one, I do not enjoy wearing these. I feel horrible when I have polyester up against my skin. Also, the clothing made from these synthetic fibers, it doesn't hold up well in the wash. And so it's the sort of fast fashion that, you'll buy a trendy piece and you'll wear it a couple of times and then it looks horrible after you've washed it. Ideally, anything that I add to my wardrobe, I would like to buy secondhand for so many reasons. Sustainability is a big thing, but it also saves you so much money. This sweater that I'm wearing right now is one of my absolute favorites. I bought this from a secondhand shop a couple of months ago now. I paid €8 for it. It is 100% wool. It's a French brand. It is so beautifully made and the wool feels just so soft and it is incredibly warm. It's snowing here today. I live in Germany. We are in the middle of winter and I can tell you this is my favorite sweater to wear when it is freezing outside. It keeps me toasty warm and I love that it is secondhand and it was in perfect condition. I went to H&M last week with my daughter, with my 13-year-old daughter, and I saw so many of these types of sweaters in H&M. They were made from 100% acrylic and I could tell by looking at them that they were going to start pilling after one or two wears. And these were going for maybe €40 and I was thinking, my goodness, there's no way I'm going back to buying cheap acrylic sweaters when I can buy 100% wool sweater for a fraction of the price at a secondhand shop. So it's a no-brainer for me. Next up, I am not going to be buying anything too trendy. So when I say trendy, I'm talking about fashion trends, like specific fashion trends that everybody is jumping on, things that influencers tell you you need to buy right now to be cool. And I am not falling for that anymore. I am over trends. I still want to look stylish and put together and chic, but I am not going to be running and buying whatever is cool in the moment. I want to invest in clothing pieces that are going to stand the test of time, timeless pieces. And I mentioned in my last video that I turned 40 last year, and I feel as though I'm having a bit of a shift with my style. I still want to look young, but I am more drawn to classic pieces and timeless pieces, not the super trendy clothing items that are going to go out of style in a couple of months. I'm going to be working on building a really classic, timeless wardrobe, so kind of like a forever wardrobe. So any pieces that I bring in are going to be classic pieces that will look great on me now, but also will still look great when I'm, say, like 90. Clothing items that are just a classic and timeless. My only exception, I would say, is if I'm really drawn to a trend and I want to give it a try, I'm going to go to my local thrift store and see if I can find something similar there. So for example, I have been seeing these rugby style shirts, long sleeved rugby style shirts all over social media. And I have to say, I felt this kind of urge to jump on that trend. And I thought, no. I had a look on some of the retail stores and they're so expensive. And so I actually went to my local thrift store and I found this really cute rugby style shirt. It was perfect and it cost me a few euros. I tried the trend. I didn't really like it. It wasn't for me. And so I ended up actually selling this item and I made a profit on it because it ended up being a designer brand. I didn't even realize at the time. I bought it for a couple of euros and I sold it for 15 euros. So I made a bit of a profit, which I thought was really cool. So, I mean, if I want to try a trend, I'm sure I can find it somewhere secondhand. I'm not going to jump on, say, Shein and find a really cheap version of the trend that is going to last me a week and then I'm sick of it because it's scratchy and it's all bobbly after I've washed it. No way. Like, I am not wasting my money on all of these little micro trends just for the sake of it. And I'm definitely not going to be wasting my money on these really cheaply made fast fashion items. Something else I'm not going to be buying in 2026 is any of these fad skincare anti-aging products. Absolutely not. I have been completely sucked into the world of anti-aging and I feel quite annoyed about it actually because when I turned 40, I was bombarded with all of these ads, these anti-aging ads telling me that I needed this product and this product, pointing out things about my skin that I didn't even realize were a problem until they were pointed out to me. Obviously, the algorithm knew that I was turning 40, and apparently when you turn 40, you need to start thinking about skincare, or even before that, even decades before that, according to the internet. And yeah, I was just pushed all of these really expensive skincare items. I was all of a sudden seeing on my YouTube feed all of these beauty influencers who were talking about anti-aging and pointing out every little thing that happens to your face after the age of 30 that you should be concerned about. And it was making me feel crazy and creating problems that just weren't there in the first place. And so I am just going to be sticking with my simple skincare routine that's been working for me up until now. So I use a good retinol, I use a really basic cleanser and a really good moisturizer, and that's all I use for my skincare routine. I am very consistent about it. Something else I am not going to be buying this year or putting money into is Botox. I know that left, right, and center, people are trying to tell me, influencers online are trying to tell me that I need Botox because I'm 40. And I feel like so many people my age are starting to get Botox, and I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I don't like the way it looks. No offense if you're somebody who gets Botox. I think it probably could look good, but I can notice it straight away if somebody has Botox. Maybe there's some people who get it and it's very subtle and I don't notice, but I can usually notice straight away when somebody's had Botox, and I just don't think it makes people look younger. That's my personal opinion. And so I'm not going to be getting any Botox. I don't like the look. I don't want to look like I'm frozen. And it's expensive. It's really expensive. I'm not going to go there with Botox. I think it's a trap. And once you get it, you probably want to keep getting it. And no, I'm not going to go there. Something else I am not going to be wasting my money on in 2026 are those cheap, gimmicky toys for kids. I'm talking about the super cheap little items made from really low quality plastic. We have this shop called Teddy here in Germany, and honestly, I cannot bring my kids with me if I go to Teddy. They have so many of those really cheap, plasticky, low quality toys that you can get for €1, €2, and my kids always want them. And I used to give in because they were cheap and they made my kids happy for like 5 minutes. and I'm not going to do it anymore. And I'm not saying I'm not getting them anything made of plastic, because there's plastic and plastic. We've got a couple of Hot Wheels stations that belong to my 9-year-old. He played with them for years, and now my 4-year-old plays every day with these Hot Wheels stations. And I mean, as I said, there's good plastic and bad plastic, and I'm not buying anything that is really budget cheap plastic. I would much rather buy something that is made of wood, or even secondhand toys are fine, or hand-me-down toys from friends, but not buying all of these knick-knacky, little toys that my kids pressure me to buy. I'm just going to say no. Last but not least, something I will not be buying in 2026 is impulse buys. Anything that I decide in that moment that I want without thinking about it for a while. Not going to buy it. It's not worth it. I know the majority of the time, if I am impulsive with my purchases, I'm going to regret it later. Also, when it comes to going to secondhand shops, I love secondhand shopping. I am a huge advocate for buying used, but I have found myself making really impulse buys at the secondhand store just because something is cheap. I'll be cluttering my house with things I don't need, also wasting money for the sake of it. And I am going to stop myself. I'm only going to bring items into my home that I truly need, items that are going to add value to my life, but I'm not going to be buying things for the sake of buying things. And I am quite impulsive by nature, so I need to fight that urge to, want to have something now. And so also just like waiting a little bit. If I want something, I'm going to just wait like a week or two and see if I still want that item. I've been doing this lately, and 9 out of 10, I don't even want that item after 2 weeks of waiting. So I'm definitely not going to make any impulse purchases this year. So guys, I've come to the end of this video. These are the things I'm not going to be wasting my money on in 2026. If you're also doing the no buy, low buy challenge, please share with me in the comment section some of the things you are not buying this year. I would love to exchange ideas. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you again really soon.